Now it's time for our insight of the week, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Crimson and hear what our insight is.
Okay, Lori, I like to keep it light. I went with something funny because one of the most accurate takes on exhaustion comes from Garfield. I'm not lazy. I'm just on energy saving mode. And the reason I love this quote and wanted to bring it is because it's kind of wise beyond its audience. So while Garfield may be for kids, that line, that's like kind of adult survival. Somewhere along the way, we decided that stopping means that we're actually failing, and that if you're not producing or pushing through or doing, something must be wrong. But exhaustion isn't a character flaw. It's a signal, right? It's telling you like it's time to do something different. So I love that Garfield laid it out clear. Go into energy saving mode. What do you think, Lori?
I'm surprised to see Garfield as the source of our insight of the week, but insights come from so many different sources across the board. So Garfield is welcomed here. I will say, I mean, we all know Garfield has good taste, obviously. His love of lasagna really speaks to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think resting in the art of doing nothing, which we'll talk about later in this episode, is highly uncomfortable to most people living in Western capitalistic societies.
Right.
And part of that is because so much of our worth and identity, sense of purpose, motivation is baked into this idea that we are producers. And if we are not producing, it can often make us feel very insecure in those spaces. But the problem is the human brain, mind, body, soul, whatever we want to say, needs time to reset and recharge. So if you are in a situation where you need to recharge, you need to take a page out of Garfield's book.
Right.
And allow yourself to go under energy saving mode and not waste more energy shaming yourself for being lazy. That's the biggest problem here is so many people just like shame around this idea of just taking it easy or taking a rest or just not producing all the time. And that really does need to be questioned. So I am glad that Garfield is doing the hard work of questioning that, interrogating it really.
I mean, as you know, my husband's a workaholic. He has been since before we were dating. And I went through a lot of years of feeling lazy if I wasn't producing because he was always producing. And finally, I kind of went on the Garfield train of no, I need to recharge. And, you know, everyone has different coping skills and different things, but I like this one. I don't know how else you recharge if you don't step back.
I think this idea of energy saving mode speaks obviously more to technology, but we have way more understanding of how technology works versus how humans work. And I think that's another thing that really will lead people to that shame cycle. Mm-hmm. Is that they don't understand that rest and energy saving mode and all of that is important to the human experience.
And
it's important to our functioning.
And
that's how we can be high performers. Yeah, high producers. And I can't tell you how many podcasts I've listened to people who usually work in like tough jobs or in tough situations who talk about how, you know, they got through periods of their career and they were really high performing and they didn't really think too much about this stuff until they crashed out. Mm-hmm. And it became very clear that they had to think about it. So I love energy saving mode because it feels like a more preventative, compassionate, understanding it's part of the process vibe than I think a lot of the bigger kind of cultural messaging around production and worth and, you know, commodification of the human experience. Nobody can be on all the time.
No.
Nobody can.
Nope. It's impossible. Well, thank you, Garfield, for being ahead of your time. I mean, even energy saving mode is like totally modern language. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, save us some lasagna, please.
Right.
To go with these philosophical nuggets.